Welcome to my devotional for today. This is the last day of April, so we're almost into May. And we're done now. We've gone through all of the resurrection texts. So I thought it might be interesting to go through some Old Testament. I think we should probably stop calling it the Old Testament and start calling it Hebrew Scriptures. But going through the scriptures, Hebrew scriptures, and looking for where it predicts or at least shows the need for Christ. And we're going to start, I want to start first of all by reading on the road to Emmaus. That was one of the texts we looked at. They're on the road and they're going to Emmaus, and they run into a strange person who asks them, why are you so sad? What's going on? And they say, well, are you the only person that doesn't know that this person, Jesus, was crucified? And, so you get a feel that all of Jerusalem knew what had happened. And so then Jesus does this. He says in, this is Luke 24, verse 26, where he says, was it not necessary that the Christ should suffer these things and enter into his glory? And this is the part here. And beginning with Moses and all of the prophets, Moses and all of the prophets, he interpreted to them in all the scriptures the things concerning himself. Now, it's important to note that all the scriptures at this time would have been the Hebrew Bible, would have been what we would consider the Old Testament. Those are all the scriptures. So in the Old Testament, in Hebrew scriptures, Jesus is showing why it was important for him to die, to rise again from the dead, and why he had to suffer. So he's going through scripture and doing that. So let's do the same thing. In the next few days, we'll look at some of the Old Testament passages that really relate to this. And one of the first ones that's so meaningful is Psalm 22. We're going to spend the next few days in Psalm 22. And I just want to start by reading the very first verses of Psalm 22. And you're going to see that a lot of the things in Psalm 22 are mentioned in Scripture about Jesus. And so let's look at that. My God, why have you forsaken me? This is scripture Jesus is quoting on the cross, Psalm 22, verse 1. Why are you so far from saving me from the words of my groanings? Oh my God, I cry to you I cry by day, but you do not answer, and by night, but I find no rest. Verse 3, you are holy, enthroned in the praises of Israel. In you our fathers trusted. They trusted and you delivered them. To you they cried and were rescued. In you they trusted and were not put to shame. Verse 6. But I am a worm and not a man, scorned by mankind and despised by the people. All see me, mock me. And there's that section in the Gospels where people wag their heads and mock him. They make mouths at me. They wag their heads. They say, he trusted in the Lord. Let him deliver him. Let him rescue him, for he delights in him. That's in Scripture. That's what they said when Jesus went by. So you can see that at least in the beginning of Psalm 22, and we'll be looking at more of Psalm 22 in the days ahead, you can see that almost directly it quotes what happened to Jesus. Almost the exact same words Jesus is used against Jesus, and Jesus says. Of course, it isn't surprising maybe that Jesus would be quoting the Psalms, but it is surprising that people would wag their heads and say, he saved others, let him save himself, quoting this psalm. So this psalm is prophetic in that it describes what will happen to Jesus. And here's the thing I want to share with you today in this very uncertain time. I want you to think about this, that God knew about Jesus and Jesus coming way hundreds, thousands of years in the scripture. It shows that Jesus was going to be coming as the Messiah. That means that God has a plan. And he has a plan for today, even though we can't see it, even though maybe back when Psalm 22 was written, they couldn't see it, and they didn't understand it even. But we understand it today. And we see that God's plan that he had from the very beginning, starting out with the Jews and then reaching out to the whole world through Christ, has been a plan that God's had all along. So that should give you, I hope, some comfort in these difficult times, that even though it's difficult, even though we may not be able to understand or see why this thing is happening to the virus, that God does have a plan for you and for the world. And maybe, I hope, that gives us a little hope, a little kind of, don't let the stuff that you see all around you, the news and everything, so overwhelm you that you forget that it's all about God, and that God does have a plan, and that he is going to do something amazing with all of this. So trust him, look to him, make him your heart, and just look for that kind of caring in Jesus Christ. God bless you, and tomorrow we'll look at some of the rest of chapter 22, because it's even more amazing later on in Psalm 22. You might want to read it between now and then. Thank you so much, and I hope and pray that you have a great day. God bless.